Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark Belanger and I am a realtor here in Ottawa, and I help families relocate to Ottawa, and I also help families get out of the Ottawa real estate market via downsizing and other services, and of course, everything in between. So if that's interesting to you, I'll leave my contact details below. Don't be shy, reach out. I will help you through your house buying and or selling adventures, so don't be shy. And in today's video, we're going to be walking you through the essentials every first-time home buyer should know, from navigating financial landscapes to picking out the perfect neighborhood and everything in between. We're covering key steps like securing financing, understanding market trends, and leveraging government incentives to make homeownership a reality. Let's go. All right, welcome back. Being a first-time home buyer is a very exciting step in our financial journey. And I want to make sure that in this video, we cover topics that might be obvious to some of us that are more experienced, while at the same time often overlooked by many first-time home buyers. So if you know any first-time home buyer, forward this video over to them in the hopes that they pick up on just a couple of things that we're going to cover today. We're going to cover in this video current market conditions, why Ottawa is a great place for first-time home buyers, understanding your financials, obviously, choosing the right property, what it takes to do that, navigating the buying process, we'll walk through step by step, and of course, lastly, leveraging government programs and incentives. So let's dive in on all of these. I hope you get a little bit out of it. Let's just take it step by step. The first step that we got to do is really just take a step back and try to understand what kind of market are we currently operating in. And I understand that by the time some of you watch this video, the landscape will have shifted somewhat, and that might change, but at time of recording, which is April 2024, we are currently in a balanced market here in Ottawa. And balance being the operative word. It is not necessarily a buyer's market currently or a seller's market currently. It is nice and balanced. Being nice and balanced with a sales to new listings ratio of 56% really just indicates it's not really leaning one way or another. And because of that, you can take a step back and make informed decisions without the undue pressure. And that undue pressure oftentimes comes from either being in a buyer's market and or seller's market. And you've heard the stories before. Oftentimes people are under pressure. They got to make quick decisions. People are bidding and outbidding, and it just becomes a little bit stressful. A nice balanced market, however, will give us just a little bit of extra time, make that informed decision without being overly rushed necessarily, but that is key. So first step, what kind of market are we operating? Let's get into that psychological mindset, and let's move on to the next step. The second step that we have to discuss, which is really just the basics, is where are we in the market today? Are we trending up and to the right? Are we declining? How long has that trend been? What is the average or the median sale price for the average home here in Ottawa? I can say that today, at time of recording again, the median price for a single family detached home is $763,000. I could also say it's up 3.2% year over year. But reach out to your realtor, myself or anybody else, and dissect the numbers. Have a historical perspective, understand the last 6 months or so, and then start breaking it down from the type of property that you want to purchase. Obviously, this is all fundamental stuff, but once you have that mindset, it makes it a lot easier to understand where you should expect to pay or what you should be expecting to pay for the type of home that you're looking for. So again, fundamental stuff, step number 2. All right, the next step is pretty simple. Where do you want to live? Let's just dissect that a little bit. We're making a video for first-time home buyers. On average, let's just make a generalized statement. First-time home buyers tend to be younger. They are probably recent graduates, probably in the workforce from, let's call it 1 to 5 years, looking to make a move. The world is their oyster. Where do they go? Where are the jobs? What do they want to do? Well, Ottawa, in comparison to Toronto and Vancouver, is significantly less expensive, to the tune of about 30 to 35% from a pure real estate market. Now, cost of living and everything else, you got to factor that in. I've dissected that in previous videos as well. Go to Numbeo, you can get the cost of food and transportation. You can get all of that if you want to do a real side-by-side comparison. But from a pure housing perspective, 30 to 35% less expensive. On top of that, why not Ottawa? Well, because it's the nation's capital. You've got high-tech sector, you have government, you have a little bit of everything. And on top of that, you have really low crime in comparison to Toronto and or Vancouver. And when you stack it up against Calgary and Montreal, again, lower crime and probably more options from a pure job perspective, having different sectors, being a government town, and everything is represented here in Ottawa. And from a pure leisure perspective, I like the fact that there's green belts, there's a ton of water, there's mountains, there's a little bit of something for everyone. So why not Ottawa? All right, let's have a quick chat on government programs and incentives. Ottawa is particularly appealing for first-time homebuyers due to the various government incentives. For example, first-time homebuyers in Ottawa can benefit from rebates on land transfer taxes, and if they're purchasing a newly constructed home, they may also be eligible for a rebate on the HST. These programs can significantly reduce the upfront costs associated with buying a home, making it easier for new entrants in the housing market. Being in Ottawa is a stable market. The stability of Ottawa's market is a significant advantage. Even as we see fluctuations, the balanced nature of the market helps protect against the rapid price escalations and the bidding wars common in other volatile markets. This stability is reassuring for first-time homebuyers who can invest in real estate knowing that they are less likely to face sudden downturns or losses. All right, the next step here on our little adventure is, surprise, surprise, we have to start assessing your financial health. So before we start looking at properties, it's essential to get a clear picture on your financial situation. This includes understanding your income, your debt, and your credit score. And a healthy credit score is crucial as it will affect the interest rates offered to you on a mortgage. Then, budgeting and savings. One of the first steps is to establish a budget that includes your current expenses and the potential future home ownership costs like property taxes, home insurance, and maintenance. Start setting aside money for your down payment. In Ottawa, a down payment could be as low as 5% of the home's purchase price, but saving more obviously will reduce your mortgage. So let's start with all of that. Let's get clean on where are you from a debt perspective, a credit score perspective, and let's start putting empty lines on the future cost of things, and let's start saving. All right, so go to my website and go to the Buy tab. And on the Buy tab, you'll see sort of a sequence of events. The next phase that we're going to be getting into now that our paperwork is nice and cleaned up is we got to get pre-approval. Understanding what you can afford from a pre-approval perspective from a mortgage gives you an idea of how much you can borrow, and it affirms your budget range. It's a signal to real estate agents as well as to the sellers that you're a serious buyer, which can have a significant advantage in competitive markets. Locking in an interest rate. When you get pre-approved, lenders often lock in that interest rate for 90 to 120 days. Given the fluctuating interest rates, this can also protect you against any sudden rises while you search for your home. All right, so we're getting there a little bit. Next thing we got to do is we got to shop around for the best mortgage rate. So shop it around. Don't just go with the first lender who offers you a mortgage. Compare the rate with several lenders to ensure that you're getting the best possible deal. You'll find anywhere on the website, you'll find tools that will compare the price, and then you'll be able to see for yourself the difference that you would be saving. Also, you should probably consider a mortgage broker. Let the mortgage broker do the work for you. They'll shop it around. They have access to multiple lenders. They can do all of that work for you. The last thing I want to say on this one is negotiate your mortgage terms. Remember, a mortgage term can often be negotiated. This includes not only the interest rate, but also the repayment terms and the penalties for early repayment. All right, so now we're gonna have a conversation about the type of lifestyle that you wanna have, the type of property you wanna purchase. If you wanna be downtown for the most part, maybe a condo is for you. You like security, you like pools, you like gyms, that sort of thing, then it's probably going to be the condo lifestyle that you're looking for. Less private, less expensive, but condos is a really, really good option. Or you want to step up from condos, you want a little bit more room, you want a little bit more privacy, then maybe townhouses are for you. And if not townhouses, you want to take the ultimate step up, then a single family home. If budget allows you to do that, then the single family home gives you probably the best of everything. Gives you the most room, the most privacy, gives you the ability to do whatever you want with the property without having to negotiate with condo boards and so on. So what type of property is it that you want? A, and B, can you afford it, which we've already determined via the bank and the budget and everything else we just talked about. All right, so now going back to my website, again on the Buy tab, you'll see the process there. It's all laid out. you'll see there that there is a questionnaire. And the questionnaire that I would be sending you at this point in the process is really to determine the must-haves versus the nice-to-haves. Is it really crucial for you to have parking or a garage? Yes or no? Is it really crucial? Is it a must-have to have visitor parking or enough parking in your driveway for 2 or possibly 3 cars? Do you need a pantry? Do you need a home office? All of these things need to be factored in, and I need to really extract that from you to really stay focused on your house hunting. Don't get distracted. Write it down. What is a must-have versus a nice-to-have? You'll be surprised because when you're in the depths of it all and you're seeing a lot of houses, emotions come in and then you start getting sidetracked a little bit in this whole experience. So super important. Fill out the questionnaire. Let's stay objective on all of this and let's write it down. How many bedrooms? How many square footage? Do you need an office? Do you need a garage? Do you need a pantry? Like all sorts of stuff. Are you comfortable with maintenance? Yes or no? All of that. Do you need a pool? Everybody needs a pool. Can you afford a pool? Things like that. Let's dissect it on the questionnaire. I'll send that over to you. That's a tool that I'll receive. I'll talk it through, and then we're going to get ready to start looking at houses. Location, location, location. How many times have you heard that? Choosing the right neighborhood is just as critical as selecting the type of home you want to purchase. Here's a few factors to consider. Proximity to work or schools. Think about your daily commute and consider the accessibility of public transportation. For those who are planning to have children, researching schools in the neighborhoods is crucial. We have access to school ranking systems as well, so just reach out and I'll pass on that information. Lifestyle fit. Whether you enjoy the quiet suburban life or you thrive on the hustle and bustle of city living, Ottawa is diverse and the diverse neighborhoods cater to various lifestyles. Future developments. Look into the planned developments or the changes in the neighborhoods that might affect the property's value. Positive changes like new parks or school or transportation like the LRT system, for example, can boost your investment in the long run. So all factor into your decision. All right, so we're there. We're now shopping. We're now looking at homes together. I say this all the time. Don't rush this particular step. Look at as many homes as you need. You want to obviously feel as comfortable as possible in making the right decision. Once you're there and you feel like you've made the right decision, we're going to contemplate the neighborhood. We got to talk about what's happening, the dynamics in that neighborhood. We want to look at that same house 2 or 3 times at different times and at different days. Again, we want to get a sense for the neighborhood and the vibe. We want to make sure that we're super comfortable. And then last but not least, we also might want to consider an inspection. So that would be the last thing to contemplate. But remember, I was talking about a balanced market today. Well, if you're in a buyer's market or a seller's market, the dynamics of having an inspection kind of come in a little bit. But let's assume you can actually put through an inspection. This is a really good opportunity to sleep well at night, understanding what the short and the long-term implications of this home, what would be the potential renovations needed in the short or long term, and so on. So all that kind of stuff we can discuss. But again, we're getting there. We're now looking at homes. We're taking our notes. I have a spreadsheet I forward over to you where we track everything from the address, the MLS, what we like, what we didn't like, and we just keep working it MLS number by MLS number, and eventually we find that spot in the proper neighborhood, and then we start deciding on home inspections and how we're gonna craft up the offer. All right, we're gonna wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got a little bit of value. If so, please forward it to anybody who is a first-time home buyer or is contemplating moving or purchasing a home. We've covered a lot of ground. A lot of the pre-work is paperwork, establishing a budget, establishing pre-approvals. We got to get a lot of the coordination done up front before we have the fun part of viewing homes, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to take you out and to look and hunt for that perfect home in that perfect neighborhood. So I hope you got some value. Again, my name is Mark Belanger. If you want my assistance on any of this, don't hesitate to reach out to me. My contact details are below. Thank you for the time for listening to this video, and until the next video, take care.